Welcome to Pastor Lynne, actually Table Talk with Pastor Lynne and friends.
Yes.
This is a new year. We are so excited about this new year. We plan to bring some wonderful, wonderful things during this year. I hope you guys had a great New Year's Day. And I hope that you have made some commitments to yourself on walking into the greatness and the newness that God has for you, all of the opportunities that God has for you in this new year. So again, we welcome you to Table Talk with Pastor Lynne and friends. You notice we're missing two of our counterparts. Please be praying for them. They are sick right now. So Joelle and April, we miss you, sisters. We are praying for you. Now, this is what I need you to do. If you are viewing from YouTube, I need you to hit that like button.
Yes.
I need you to share. And I need you to subscribe. Then I need you to make sure you hit that bell button so that when we come on, you are notified that we are coming on and you can jump on here with us and have a conversation. If you're viewing from Facebook, same thing. We want you to like, share. And we want you to make sure you guys invite people to be a part of this conversation. We want to hear from you. So we don't want to just hear ourselves talk. We want to hear from you. What is it that you have to say? What is it that you believe? What can you offer? We want suggestions, right? We want suggestions. We want to hear from you guys. So let's start this year of 2023 out where we are communicating and conversating with one another. All right. So again, I am Pastor Lynne.
I am Monique. I'm Mary.
You can see it's a new year, right? And we still ain't got it together, right? So listen, this is how it works. We have our trusty bowl, and in it we have conversations, topics that you all have given us, that you have emailed us or texted us or inboxed us and said that you want to talk about. So what we do is we choose one, and whichever one we choose is the conversation that we will have. You're making me nervous.
Okay. What do you do when you want to walk away from everything?
Oh,
Run.
I'm not doing this with you.
Run. Yeah.
Wow. That's a good question. That is a good question. What do you do when you want to run away from everything?
What do you do?
I can't with you right now. I can't, and I'm not going to do this with you right now.
What do you do?
Wow. I actually do. When I want to walk away, I do walk away, and it takes me a moment to say, okay, you can't stay here. You can't shut everybody out. But like I said, it takes me a moment to go from the running away to the, okay, you gotta stop and deal with whatever's going on. And depending on what it is.
Yeah.
Right now, I am running away because I don't want to deal with some things right now. And I don't mean physically running, obviously, because I'd be pretty thin. Anyway. But
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You'd be pretty thin. Okay. Go ahead.
But I have a tendency to pull off and be by myself. And sometimes you got to allow a person to do their running away if that's how they process.
Yeah.
For me, that is how I process. And when I'm done processing, I'll be back. But in the meantime, you got to let me process.
That's good. That's good. What do you do when you just want to walk away from everything? I think that's a valid question for everybody. I think we've been in a season where people are walking away. People are walking away. People are committing suicide. Um, wow, that is really, really a good question.
I think I walk away mentally. As a matter of fact, sometimes I run away mentally. I isolate myself, and then I guess when you get in that mode where you feel like you just have to totally separate, a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand, and they go, well, "What's wrong?" Or, well, I used to do it myself, but then when you start going through some serious stuff, you start understanding why that person mentally checks out, or they just leave.
Yeah.
So I get it. I do get it. Being able to, or having that need to just check out and just not really explain, but just say, you know what, I just need some time.
Yeah. That's a hard situation. Um, because what we may think it's not checkout material
Uh-huh.
could really be someone else's checkout. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, I think we become very dismissive at the signs of people saying they want to check out.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can't address how do you handle it, what do you do, because a lot of times we kind of dismiss the signs. I know for me, a lot of times I want to check out, but I know I can't.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just keep going, but I'm giving signs to everybody that, I'm trying to check out. Like, I don't want to do this no more. And people just don't, I think sometimes people think you're stronger than you are, or you're so strong
yeah.
that you can't have a moment of wanting to check out. And so I think that we have to be a little bit more, I don't want to say understanding, because I don't think it's understanding, aware.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to be
Careful
more
is the right word.
careful. There is a good word.
Because my trauma may not be your trauma, but you don't get to judge it. You don't get
Right.
to decide
Yeah.
whether or not it's worthy of me walking away, running away, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How I choose to deal with things is how I deal with them. And we want to make sure that we're not belittling somebody because they deal with it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's important.
Yeah.
I think that is important. I have just this week, I've talked to so many people who just want to throw in the towel. Like, they're just tired. It's just one issue after the next, after the next, after the next. And I found myself having to apologize because I'm halfway checked out. So it's hard to help someone stay checked in when you're struggling to do it as well. But I had to call a couple of them back and apologize. Like, I didn't give you my full attention. Like, I did not give you all of me to hear what you were saying. And I kind of formed my own outcome of what you were saying. And I think we have to be careful about that. Aware.
And you're absolutely correct. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're
But
not.
what I'm thinking about, wait, first. Hi, Alicia. I see you got on. Anyway.
Hi, Alicia.
I just lost my whole train of thought. Okay.
That's what you cut me off. That's why you lost your train of thought, because you cut me
But
off. Okay.
we as women, because we are so used to handling multiple things, we don't take the time to check out sometimes when we should.
That's true.
And if you really think about it, are you doing, I'm not gonna say you're doing damage, but are you doing as well as you could be on all the bases if you had taken that little time to check out?
That's a good
Just
question.
something to think about.
Yeah, because I think there are two different checkouts, right? There's the checkout where you need to step back. Even Jesus, when God snuck away, there are times you
That's
need
why
to
we need
step
girls
back,
trips.
and I know, right? To be able to recalibrate.
Yeah.
But there are times when I look at this topic, it does make me think about those who just want to give up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want to do it no more. I'm tired. It's overwhelming, and I just want to give up. I would love to hear what you all think.
What do you do when it's what
Yeah.
is the question?
The question is,
Okay.
what do you do when you want to walk away from everything?
Yeah. Some feedback. What do you guys do? Maybe that might help myself or somebody else deal with things, because when I say check out, I check out. I could be so dismissive, it's not funny.
I think that so many people just because they don't have the opportunity to hear from others, or to people reaching out to them. Like I recognize that you're going through right now. I recognize you look like you're ready to run away from everything. Like you look like you're ready to walk away. I recognize your signs, and I think we just don't have that, and so a lot of people are just, just over it. Just over it. And so, how can we then help them? Or how do we help people to not walk away, but face what it is that they're going through, right? Learn whatever the lesson is.
I think that's very hard because we are so hesitant to share, because 9 times out of 10 we have been wronged by another woman in our sharing. So if I see you and you look like you're struggling with something, and I say, "Hey, sister, what's going on? Can I help you?" You're gonna look at me like I'm crazy.
That's a big thing.
I think I've gotten to where, because I know y'all used to tease me.
Used to.
We still do.
Y'all used to tease me and talk about me, because exactly what you said is why it was so hard. I didn't want anyone to know that I was struggling mentally because of the judging, but now even though I'm going through something and I'm at that point to where, you know what, I need to just step back, I need to check out, but then I catch myself being conscious of, is someone that I know or might work with, if they walk past me and then something just kind of catches my spirit, and then they'll pass me again, and then it gets to where, okay, I'll finally stop that person and say, are you okay? Looks like, something's going on. Are you okay? And I had one person just break down and tell me. And that blew me away because nobody else knew. And I wasn't wondering, but I could just see the look on this employee's face that they were going through something. And it was an illness. And they were struggling with it mentally, but I felt it as he passed me in a hallway. And there's an older gentleman, an older employee, as he passed me in a hallway, and I could tell, and I finally stopped him. So in this particular time, I was just sitting at my desk, like, I'm just done with this, I just need to, what my coworkers say, Miss Mary, you need to go woosah. You need to go woosah.
I know, right? You old? No. I think I think when we talk about acknowledging people's pain, it takes a lot of you having to walk away from what you're going through for a moment, right? Like I can't help someone when I'm so enamored with what I'm going through. And so it's hard to, I have to have a moment where I can step back and say, okay, Lynn, it's okay for a moment to put that aside to be available for someone else. Now, I think there are moments where we're so far gone that we should not try to pour into others. But I think in an instance like this, when you see people who are ready to just throw in the towel and just walk away from everything, um, it takes a lot of courage to go to that person and try to address the issue, like stopping them and asking them, are you okay? That takes a lot of courage because women are very private.
Right. And I agree, but there's also the other side of things that, like at work, when they know how you are, I find that there are some who will just come directly to me. You know what I'm saying?
They know you.
Right.
Right.
And they know that it's not going to go any further than our discussion.
Right.
I mean, I literally had a manager tell me that I can't discuss someone's. Yeah, you know, I ripped him a new one. Anyway, side the point.
I can't. I give up.
Yeah,
I
but I think
I think we all have one in office.
we gotta give each other permission to take space and heal.
Yeah.
We don't give each other that permission. We don't allow that. And if you think about it, sometimes when you are going through something, if you stop and help somebody else, it may very well help you. Because a lot of the times what I find, this is just me, that when I am talking to someone else, I need to hear what I'm saying because a lot of times I'm talking to
Talking to
me.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Very,
Definitely.
very true.
Definitely.
Very, I think it's very relevant for all of us. I mean, we'd be lying if we said that we don't have that issue. But I think this question, and for those who are just coming on, I want to pose the question again is, what do you do when you want to walk away from everything? Like, I think this is a question that requires you to have to not think about you. Like, it's a question that requires you to have to think about someone else. But now, if you are someone who is thinking about walking away, I would say that it is important that you reach out. Like, you have to find somebody that you trust to reach out to. And as hard and as scary as that might be, you still need to be able to reach out to somebody. I think that's why these sisterhoods are so important, and even brotherhoods. I don't want to just say the sisterhoods because the sisters ain't the only ones suffering. But I think that's why it's so important to have a circle of friends or people that you call sisters or you call brothers that you can confide in when you are at that place, right? To say, I'm just tired. Like, I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to be married no more. I don't want to take care of no kids no more. Like, I don't want to work. I'm done with church. I'm done with ministry. Like, I'm just done with everything. I think if you have a circle of people that you can trust with your pain, that you can trust with those areas in your life that are challenging, I think it's a great step towards healing. And go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I just saw Erica. I don't have my glass, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And she said, I faced this earlier this week and I'm working on the reaching out part. Well, you conquered half the problem if you recognize it, because that's one thing is recognizing it and then taking stock, I guess I'd say, of what it is that you need to do. I'm not saying reach out to just anybody, obviously, but even if it's on here to one of us, we'll respond. But we are trying very hard to build sisterhoods because we have had everybody knock us down, including ourselves, including us towards each other. So one of the main reasons of doing this is trying to build a sisterhood where it starts here, there's another one there, and it just grows. We've got to give ourselves space and opportunity to heal and to have that safe place to talk about things.
Yeah. And I want to say this too, in reaching out for a group of women or someone to confide in does not always mean you're going to find them in the church. And I know that sounds crazy coming from the pastor, right?
That's real.
But
That's real.
it
This is
doesn't
true.
always mean that you're going to find it in the church. And let me say that it's okay to reach out to someone who has a degree behind their name. It's
Oh,
okay to get counseling. It's okay to reach out to people who you know have already gone through what you're going through, who may be able to share with you how they navigated through. And again, it is building that relationship with them so that you can begin to trust them with your pain. Like, I don't just trust everybody with my pain. I know that I can share my pain with these sisters because we've spent time building a relationship together. We've got 40 plus years over here. We got what, almost 6, 7 years over here now?
I think so.
Too
Something like
long,
that.
just way too long. No.
That's because you're old.
She's just old.
But I'm not the oldest one sitting on this panel. I just want to bring that out there. Okay? I just want to put that out.
She's talking
Am
about
I the
me.
baby?
Oh, okay.
Am I the baby?
No,
Hold on.
she is a thing.
No.
Am I the baby?
Listen, I might be the oldest, but check this out, baby. I am the best.
So get you some friends that are not borderline narcissists. But no, for reals though, guys, you really should have people you can laugh with.
And this is how you build your village.
You have to really work at trying to find the right group of people where you fit. When I was a younger, I used to have, you guys remember those little wood, not me, but my kids, you remember those little wood puzzles with the shapes?
Yeah.
And I remember my son trying to put the square into the triangle and getting mad because they both have pointed ends, right? They both have pointed ends. So he would give up on the square and then try to put the diamond in the triangle because they both have pointed ends. And he couldn't understand the concept that you cannot make what does not fit. Right? You can't force it into the place where it does not fit. And it's the same thing when we're reaching out, trying to build a village or trying to build a sisterhood. Find you a sisterhood where you all fit, where you groove together, like you mesh together. I know what you're thinking before you think it, right? I know you're in pain just because of how you carrying yourself, or it could just be, let me tell y'all, I can say one word and one word only, and I think I'm disguising how I'm feeling, and she'll bust me out. She'll just bust me out. Like, oh, so how long you been going through that? What? I didn't even tell you I was going through anything. I just said one word. And that was supposed to be a word to cover up how I'm feeling. But that's the type of village you need. That's the type of sisterhood you need. So I think our healing does start finding a group of people or a person that we can trust. And if that person is a counselor, find that counselor that you can trust, that you know that will give you sound, unbiased support, unbiased encouragement, unbiased direction, so that you can heal, you can begin your healing journey. And I think that is the one of the most important things that we as women don't take time to do.
So I'm just going to keep it real. If you know that your current village is messy, it's time to let them go, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not going to be able to help you. They're going to keep you where you are or drag you down further because they're in that mess. They're in that negativity. Build you a positive village. It's important. It's about keeping your sanity. And you need a place to go and vent and let loose without being judged.
Yeah, that's the I think the bottom line is you need a place where you can go and not feel like you're being judged.
Right.
All right, Alicia, you're very quiet. I don't know you to be quiet, so I'm calling you.
Thank you, Erica, for that.
Yes.
definitely something that I think a lot of us struggle with is reaching out to find that group or that person to help navigate us through going through whatever it is that we're going through. And it's just been it's a lot. Like this is a heavy time, and people are in need, and people need to know that they have people behind them that will
That's right.
encourage them and support them through all of what they're going through.
So let me beat you to the punch. Because I know a lot of you are going to say, well, I got God, so do we. But that does not mean that you can't reach out to somebody for assistance, for help. God put doctors, he put psychologists, psychiatrists, all of them out there for a reason. So you can keep standing there waiting for help and passing up the help that's right in front of you if you want to, but it isn't going to help you. Just saying.
And then we also have to keep in mind that while we're building a sisterhood, we need to recognize that there's men out there who are struggling,
Oh,
trying to
absolutely.
build that brotherhood with
Absolutely.
other men. Because when you look at it, honestly, they go through the same things that women go through.
Never thought that before, but yes.
They go through the exact same things.
And I'm
And,
seeing it more and
sometimes
more.
Yes, it's happening more and more, and the struggle is real because now, and I don't know if it's why we see so many men, so many angry men now these days, you know, because they deal with the judging, they deal with, man, you need to do this, you need to do that, man, brother, you know, they have to deal with that type of talk. And when you really hear it, it's a lot of what women say to each other.
Oh yeah.
But they don't get that chance to.
No, they don't get that chance to
They
open
gotta
up
be
the
their tough exterior
Yes.
and all that, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's sad, you know, because they deal with that trust.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to be macho, but they deal with that trust.
Right.
I have, so many of you may know or may not know, I'm writing a book on my childhood trauma of sexual abuse. And we were in a group, and this gentleman asked me, I was telling him about our trauma page. We have a transformed trauma page, which doesn't just deal with sexual trauma, but it deals with all types of trauma that you may be dealing with. And he said to me, is it a page that myself as a man would be able to join? And so I thought about it, and I was like, well, I definitely never thought about you needing that type of support. And this gentleman went on to share that he had been sexually abused himself. And because he was a man, he's always held it in. And that's been his anger. That's been his trigger all these years, because no one has given him the space to say, I need help to process this. I need help to walk through this. And so you're right. I think we negate the fact that our men are ready to walk away from everything too, right? And they need to know, how do we build a support system to help us in these times when we feel like we have no other recourse but to walk away? And so we definitely don't want to negate that the men are not suffering these same type of issues, because they are. I think we as women are just a little bit more vocal about it. I think we
internalize.
Yeah.
And internalize it, which turns into a tragedy.
As I look down,
I'm saying that
we have
because
Dale.
I know
I can see.
I know of a few that they didn't talk about it, and they didn't express, and they internalized it, and it was a shock. It was very hurtful, because my father was one of the chaplains that got the call and got to their house. So we need to let them know is this is not just geared towards women in that sisterhood, but then also men, develop your brotherhood. Find someone that you can talk to.
Yeah.
Find someone that you can just open up to. Yes, women have a different way of dealing with things, but when it all comes down to it, we're still dealing with something.
Yeah.
We're still dealing with that mental hurt or that physical hurt, that trauma. We still need someone to talk to. We still need that village. We still need that trust. We need that connection, to where we're not judged, and it's like you said, you don't have to find it in church. You don't have to go in church and find that person because that person might be outside of church. That person that you're able to open up to and confide in and trust. It might be that person outside of church.
I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, when we're victimized, and I'm going to focus on the sexual right now. When we are victimized, we are a victim. But when a man is victimized, I think it's a stigma that's placed on them, like they're weak, they wanted it, those kind of things. So I can see them not opening up. I can see them not talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
That's
It
so right.
challenges their manhood.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that. Of course, I'm not a man, so I don't know exactly, but I can imagine that that's probably something that they struggle with, is that it is something that attacks their manhood. And I think, though, we just have to be careful not to assume that we don't have men who need help. Right. And building your brotherhood, we want you to build your brotherhood. Because here's the bottom line. Alicia, you are so welcome. We want you to take advantage of this space. This is what we want to do, is have a space where we can have real conversation. And I was thinking that when we start talking about building these brotherhoods and these sisterhoods, it is so important for us to make sure that we send a message out that all are invited, right? The other thing I want to say, when I say that you don't have to be inside the church, because sometimes we feel like we can't get help until we go to church on Sunday morning, or the Bible study, or to call the pastor, or to call the deacon. I don't know if y'all grew up, but we grew up where when you had issues, you call the deacon, and the deacon comes to your house, and the deacon helps you with everything. But the reality is that God has given us so many resources, so many platforms, so many opportunities that we can take advantage of, and it doesn't lessen your relationship with God. I want to make sure we make that clear, that this does not mean you do not love God. It does not mean that God does not love you. What it does mean is that you want to be the best that you can be. And listen, when our men are healthy, we have healthy husbands, right? We have healthy families. We have healthy relationships. Women, when we are healthy, we know how to reciprocate that love that the Lord tells us that we are to love our husbands with, right? That submission comes along with love. But when we're not healthy, we struggle with these areas. We struggle with building. Yeah, say that again.
And we strike out.
We do strike out. We do.
Yeah.
We do. Thank God that when you strike out, you can get back up to the base again and try to swing again. Woo! I'm so glad he didn't give up on me.
Sometimes that so big,
But what I'm saying is, when we are boggled down, when we're hurting, and we don't have any place to release, we strike out.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's to those who are closest to us.
Yeah.
And that's not fair to them.
Yeah.
So if you've been holding on to something, it's time to let it go. It's a new year, baby.
Yeah. If the pressure is causing you to want to walk away from life, we need to really rethink the weight that we're carrying.
Right.
And sometimes the weight does get heavy. I'm a prime example. I'm not telling you something that I don't know or I have not experienced. I'm sharing what I have experienced. Oh, Erica, you are so welcome. I love
You're
you,
welcome,
cousin.
Erica.
I love you so much. I have this past year of 2022, for many who may not know, I have dealt and have been battling depression really, really bad. Howsoever, it is because I have a team of sisters who encourage me that I don't have to give up. And it may not look how I want it to look right now, right? It may not be going how I want it to go, but God has a plan. And I can start trusting that plan again. And this has been a hard year, and it ended hard. It ended hard. Like I was just like, okay, it's going to end so, and we're going to be so gracious and just blissful and blissful, and it didn't end that way. And but what I do know is that being able to sit down and talk it out with my sisters, I'm able to sit here and say, that right there is too much weight. It's too much weight for me to carry. It wasn't meant for me to carry. Some things we need to set aside and let God take care of it so that we can be healed. So we don't have to walk away. This was not my question. I don't know who gave us this question. We're going to go back and look it up and come back to you later. It's a great question because it makes us have to reflect on there are some things that we are carrying weight that has us to a place where we're ready to walk away from everything, from all of the blessings, right? Good or bad. When we are ready to just throw away everything, we have to go back and reevaluate the weight that we're carrying. What's in your suitcase that you ain't supposed to be packing? And I'm an overpacker. Listen, when I visit,
Jesus.
when I go someplace, I'm packed in like I'm going away for a year, okay? So I'm an overpacker, but I'm also an overpacker in my life. And so I take on stuff and I take it on and I take it on. And I finally just got to a place where it was just too much for one person to handle. And God never meant for us to be like that. And I wanted to walk, I was ready to give up on everything. But it's because I have sisters that I can confide in who will give me unbiased support, unbiased opinions, unbiased directions that come from love that says, no, you need to rethink what the load is. What load are you supposed to be carrying and what load are you not supposed to be carrying? So that's something I think we need to pay attention to when we feel like we're ready to walk away. We need to reevaluate. What have we taken on? Absolutely. What is in our luggage that we don't need? Because some of that stuff we're carrying ain't meant for us to carry. I'm putting all kinds of stuff on my luggage this year. I'm telling you. I'm putting all kinds. I do not want another year like 2022.
Me neither. I remember, I don't know if it was something we learned in one of our classes or something, but it was saying something to the effect of there's this narrow doorway, and I want to say it was a doorway to Christ. I'm not sure. But in passing through that doorway, it is so narrow that all the stuff that you are carrying will not be able to go with you. And that's what keeps coming to mind is that illustration that you're trying to fit in this narrow doorway and you can't get through because you're carrying all this weight that's not even yours to carry, that happened a long time ago and you've already been forgiven for it, you've already healed from it, but you keep opening it back up, that sort of a thing. So it's just something to think about. Picture yourself trying to get through that narrow doorway and what can you relieve yourself of?
Yeah.
Because it's time.
Yeah. The door to heaven is very narrow.
Is that what it is?
It's very, very narrow. And so we're not going to be able to take all this craziness with us, right? There's some things that it's going to have to be left behind. You're not going to be able to take it. And I think that, God, thank you for reminding me of that. Thank you.
I do pay attention occasionally.
Occasionally, she's a good student. Normally, no, I'm just playing. But yeah, I think that when we really think about the luggage, you know, what are we packing? And people say to me all the time, whenever we get ready to go through, the first thing she says is, "You ain't taking that big old suitcase, are you?"
Lord, we can go away for 2 days. She got a suitcase for each day. Come on now.
That suitcase be bigger than mine. I thought I'd be packing a lot of stuff.
Oh wow, are you coming for me?
We're planning a trip for 5 and one gotta stay home because she got so much luggage.
Never stay home because I got too much luggage.
Oh,
Then it wasn't meant for you to be on the
So
trip.
that would fit. Look,
My luggage was
that
supposed
won't
to
fit
be
in
up.
the trunk.
But on the real in life, think about it. I mean, if you really think about what is in the luggage that you're carrying.
Some of us are carrying stuff from back when we were kids, the labels that were stuck on. We still carry those things, and I'm not dismissing them because they are real hurts and baggage and stuff, and we just haven't taken the time to heal from them, or we don't know how to heal from them. So make this that time, the time of trying to heal from some of the baggage that you are carrying in order to relieve yourself so that you can walk through that roadway. Because you know, with anything, if the weight is too heavy, your knees are going to buckle, and that is what is happening.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're right. When I look back on all of the stuff that I've been trying to carry, I'm like, girl, what is wrong with you?
And we take on other people's.
I take on mine and everybody else's. And I think it's a
Yes.
learned behavior. It's a learned, it is behavior that I don't know if someone taught it to me or if I picked it up because there's a stigma as a pastor, this is what you're supposed to do.
I think it's just natural. I think we're all guilty of it.
I
You know,
do, but I
when I
do
see
think
someone
people in
going through
leadership tend to
Yeah.
take on more.
So much more.
Especially the higher the position, the more you take on. And so not realizing that as I'm taking everybody else's stuff on, I still got my own stuff in the suitcase, right? That I gotta go through. Like,
Newsflash.
what?
It ain't your job to fix everybody.
Why?
I'm just saying, because it ain't yours.
Who says so? Oh, okay.
Blame me if you want to.
I did hear a pastor say that one time. I heard a pastor say that.
She just said it. She just don't listen to herself.
Me? I said
Oh,
what?
I said something ugly. Anywho,
So what I have learned when you brought up past, you know, like
Real quick.
those names. Yes.
Erica said it's a definitive learned behavior. I got it double.
oh, see, y'all must be related. See,
I'm sorry.
But what I've learned, the childhood stuff, like bullying, the name calling, things that were done to me, things that were said to me. And then also in my adulthood, you know, I try not to drag that with me because I think, oh my goodness, I don't want my grandkids to have to go through that, you know. And that's the first thing that pops in my mind. But then I think over time, I have learned to, I don't know if I would call it a shelf or a box, but I've learned to mentally separate it and say, okay, you know what? You're gonna have to go on that shelf.
you on timeout.
It's that, yes. You're gonna have to go on that shelf because that's the past, and what damage was done in the past, I had to tell myself, I had to pray about it, but I had to listen and say, you know what, okay, that happened, but then how am I gonna flip it around to where I can use it, not just to help myself, but to help somebody else?
So let me ask you this: do you think that you leave it on the shelf? Does it? You mean, you know, we take it, you put it.
I will
does it
say
stay?
now I'm getting better. That 80 to 90%, I will leave it on the shelf. But you know somebody will test you. There are those out there that will test you, and you know you start feeling that little tingling coming up the back of your head. It start coming forward.
Never let the girls stand. Never.
But you know there are those who will test you, and I have to say I have gotten really good because that old Mary has been pretty dormant. You know, she's
Keep her dormant.
So let me say something about dormant. Dormant means it is still there. I'm just saying.
on the shelf.
I'm just saying.
On the shelf though.
Dormant's on the shelf though.
It's on the shelf.
I think
It's on the shelf.
I think that when we learn how to categorize things, we have to be able to categorize the things that we're completely letting go of.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem is we do put it on the shelf, but we still have a mental connection to it
Exactly.
or an emotional connection to it. So when something happens, the first thing we do is we flip that and reach back and
Let
we
me
get
get
it
this.
and bring it back. And so we have to learn as we're going through our luggage to really allow the Holy Spirit to lead us and guide us in what we need to hold on to and what we need to let go of. And that's hard because a lot of times people will let go of it.
Okay, if you are not religious, then this means that you will have to sever the ties. You'll have to cut the umbilical cord. You have got to let go of it.
You have to let go. And if you are not saved, if you don't have a relationship with God, you're not a believer, I think that you are going to have to really utilize your sisterhood to help you navigate through that suitcase, right? Go through that suitcase. And we were helping my granddaughter clean out her toy chest so she can make room, right? Make some more room for the new stuff that she was getting on Christmas. And she was having such a hard time because she had an emotional attachment to toys that she ain't played with in 5 years.
And we do the same as adults.
We do
We
the
do.
same as adults. And so
it's that
you
attachment.
need someone who is able to say, no, that right there, you can let that go. That's not
That's my
good for
ex-boyfriend
you.
and I still care about. Cut that.
Oh, you know what?
You know
Cut
what?
that brother loose because he's old news
Yeah.
and he's gone. There's a reason he's in the past. Cut it. I'm learning that.
But be okay with it. Be
I felt
okay
that
with it. So what do you do when you want to walk away from everything? You really have to find people that you can trust that can help you navigate through that time and period of your life. Don't try to handle these situations and on your own. And then, really find those who are not afraid to say to you, you were never meant to carry that. Like, that's not yours. Give that girl back her dress. Like, you can't fit that dress. Like, give her back. Give it back. It's not fitting in the boots. It's not fitting in the bottom. Just give it back. It don't fit. And sometimes we have a hard time because we want to make ourselves fit into areas where we don't fit. And then it becomes overwhelming, and then it becomes too much. And we just decide we want to walk away. And so for whatever man or woman that is listening right now, we want to encourage you to find someone who will walk with you as you navigate through this season in life where you find the strength to say, I love me enough to unpack everything out of my life that does not belong to me. Self-care is not just going away on vacation. Self-care ain't just laying on no beach. Self-care ain't just going to get your nails done or your hair done. That's not just what self-care is. Self-care is also taking care of you mentally, physically, emotionally, and sometimes it is letting go of those things that was never meant for you to carry. So I hate it when we get so when we have good conversation and we can't. So before we give our last words, did you want to say something?
Just something real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
As you were talking about finding that village, finding that sisterhood or that brotherhood, just remember that as we hold on to all of that baggage, as we keep that internal, everything, inside, if we don't talk to anybody, if we don't just find that person that you can trust, we're not only damaging ourselves mentally, but we're damaging ourselves internally and spiritually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which in turn means we damage everybody who we're connected with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we want to stop that. We want to stop that now. We want to nip it in the bud. The devil is a lie.
Stop the cycle.
Stop that cycle. The Bible says you shall live and not die. You are the head and not the tail. You are above and not beneath. And we have to start believing that, right? And in order to believe that, then we have to make it an action. Walk that thing out. Start caring more about you and your well-being than you care about holding on to stuff that you know don't belong to you. And trust me, honey, they will find somebody else
To latch on.
to.
Because
Okay?
they chicks, no, I'm saying.
Oh my gosh.
So real quick before we get out of here, first of all, we want to thank you guys. We do have last words. We will do last words in just a second. But I just want to a couple of things. We also want to do spotlights. Have a business, a ministry, whatever it is, you're launching something, whatever it is, and you would like us to give you a shout out, please inbox us and just let us know. We message us. We will be more than happy to give you a shout out on our next segment. This evening, I want to give a shout out to my agent, Sharon Elliott. She is Sharon Morse Elliott. Okay. She has a book out right now, phenomenal. And I want you guys to go to her page, Sharon Norris Elliott. If you go to, what's it called? Amazon. Her book is on Amazon. And I believe the book is called, What Do You Do When They Don't Do What You Raised Them to Do? Something. I'll get the right title. We'll put it on. I'm telling you, I started reading this book and it is a phenomenal read. Please go to Amazon, look her book up. She has an amazing collection of books that I think would bless you. So please go to Amazon, Sharon Norris Elliott, and she has she's just a phenomenal woman in her own right. She is a owner of Authorize Me. So if you're looking to write a book and you need help getting started, please. She has a literary agency that is just a phenomenal course to take that will get you on the right track. So please, if you have any questions or want to inquire anymore, please feel free to inbox us and I will definitely get you all of her information. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, we have some wonderful things coming up. We have some classes coming up. So please be looking for the announcements of our classes. We have a workshop coming up called Reaching Back, and it is a mentoring class and on how do you mentor, how do you raise up others where they also reciprocate that mentoring to someone else. So please be looking for that. We have the Does Ministries up and coming. Broken Chains Ministries is up and coming. There's so many things. We have a newsletter that we put out. Our newsletter blog goes out every Thursday. If you would like to receive that, please put your email in the chat or inbox us your email and we will make sure we put you on the list. I think it is an awesome newsletter. You can find out everything that's going on with the Lynne Hera Ministries, with Table Talk, the Does Ministries, Broken Chains Ministries, all of the above and then some. So please, if you would like to be a part of that, drop us your email and we will make sure we add you to our subscriber list. Did I miss anything, ladies?
Nope.
Yes, I did.
What?
So you guys may notice we have our beautiful shirts
yes.
on. So our
We'll
shirt,
come to the
I know, right?
To the side.
It has our name and it says Sisters Forever with the Wakanda sign. Sisters Forever. We want to thank Mother Bell or Sister Patricia Bell for making these shirts for us. We look forward to having more what's more items. We're gonna have cups, and we'll be putting those on our website to we'll be able to sell those things so that you guys can have some of the things that we are getting ready to have, and we want you guys to be a part of what we're doing, and it also supports the ministry as well. So again, we thank you guys for joining us. Any last words?
Yes, I am challenging you to get a sisterhood together, but not this Friday, but the next Friday, and let's talk.
What she said.
See how we do? We ain't right. We know we ain't right. Listen, guys, we thank you so much for being here with us, and we pray that you guys walk away with something to help you navigate through this time. And if you do feel like you're ready to walk away and you have nobody to talk to, please feel free to inbox me, inbox one of these ladies, and we promise you we will get back to you, and we will make time to help navigate you through this time. If you are going through trauma and you just need to connect with some sisters, please request to be a part of the Transform Trauma page. It's a Transform Trauma healing page. And request to be a part. We will let you in, and you will be able to partake in everything that we're doing to just start a journey of encouragement and empowering one another so that we can heal from whatever trauma it is. And men, if you're listening, we invite you as well. So again, we thank you guys for joining us. And until we see you again, peace. We love you.
Send in your suggestions.
We want to hear from you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.